I mean, is the fear of a doppelganger a real thing? Like, who's freaked out by that? Anyone? And no, you don't count. Us is Jordan Peele's much anticipated follow-up to Get Out and stars Lupita Nyong'o as a woman trying to reconcile a mysterious and scary past that doesn't want to stay buried. It's another scary social commentary where metaphor and allegory abounds. But how does it stack up as an actual movie? Well, let's find out with 5 things you might want to know about Us. Oh, this is an interesting one in so many ways. Very, very interesting. There is a lot to love here, and then just one big flaw that I think may make or break the movie for you. Let's get started. We'll talk about the good stuff first. First of all, Jordan Peele. The dude knows how to shoot a movie. The visuals in this are outstanding. The way he's framing things, the way he's using foreground and background, the way he's using color, the way he's using movement. It's obvious that Jordan Peele has been doing his homework here. It's obvious he has a keen eye for what looks good on a screen. And because of that, he's taking the audience into a real world. He's taking them somewhere because of the visuals he can put on screen, and it's top-notch stuff. He's also got some great actors to work with here. You've got Winston Duke doing some great comic relief. You've got these kids who are really great, but we have to stop and focus on Lupita. She is doing next level work in this movie. She, like others, is given a dual role here, but with her, it's almost as if there are 2 actresses playing this part. Even though you know it's Lupita, you know they're both her, the performances are so interestingly unique, and the choices are so bold and dead on. She's going for it in a way that is kind of one of those home run or strikeout ways, and I think she hits it out of the park. I think she's doing great work here, and I would be so very sad if we forget about it in the next 9 months leading up to the Oscars. Please have a long memory for this one, because Lupita is at the top of her game here. The other thing that Jordan Peele's doing really well here, he really understands suspense. Now, I will say, I actually wasn't very scared during this movie. That comes with my personality, I think, a little bit. But what I do love is when a director can own you, and that's what suspense does. He understands how to play a scene, where to give you the information you need so that you're right there with them. Understanding where you need information that the characters don't have, that's a key to suspense. Understanding where the characters have information that you're still looking for, that's a key to suspense. And that disparity of information and knowledge is what leads you along, whether it be horror or action or comedy or romance or whatever the genre is. The best movies are the ones where the director just takes you by the hand and makes you feel safe and understands where you're going. And this is one of those movies, and Jordan is doing it well. And we haven't even gotten to my favorite part of the movie yet. It's the meaning, it's the metaphor. If you've ever watched these reviews before, you know that's what makes me tick. That's where my heart is. I love it when a movie can layer in this beautiful message, and boy, is Jordan Peele doing that here. Now, you can certainly, this is a metaphor movie where you can find different meanings about different things, but the one that stood out to me is this idea of us versus them. The idea that when you separate yourself from the other, whether it be through gender or race or politics, which I think this movie deals in quite a bit. When you do that, you are stealing the other's humanity. You're stealing their soul. In a way, you are making them evil or a villain or non-human. And I think this movie dives into that in some really interesting ways and comes out basically saying, we can't do that. It can't be us versus them, because when you divide, you actually don't realize that they are the same as you. And that is a message that is near and dear to my heart. It's one I want to see more people talking about, especially in the world we live in right now. And I was super glad to see Jordan addressing that through the metaphor in this film. It's so great. So we have arrived at the make or break thing about this movie that I think is kind of dividing people on it. I'll let you know where I land, but I want to lay it out for you. This movie doesn't make any sense. I don't mean completely, But there's a lot of nonsense here. Things about this actual world that he's putting on screen that if you stop to think about them for even just a few seconds, you come up with way many more questions that can be answered, and in some situations, impossibilities for the information that you're given. Now, I don't mind this, right? Like Mother is one of my favorite movies. That is not a movie that's trying to make sense. That is a complete metaphor movie. The problem is you have to deal with the movie on its own terms. And this is a movie that tries to explain things. It actually lays out exposition in some places. It says, this is what's going on. So if I'm meeting the movie on its own terms and it's saying, okay, this is the world I'm giving you, I also have to be able to say and be honest about being distracted by the fact that the world you're giving me doesn't make any sense. This same movie rewards and punishes you for paying attention. It rewards that close attention because of the metaphor and the meaning, but it punishes you for that close attention because the world doesn't hold together when you start to think about it. That's a big deal, and I've seen a lot of people just hand-waving it away because Jordan Peele is so good at this, and he is, but I can't do it. I can't hand-wave it away, and it had a big impact on the movie for me because I found it very distracting. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. I had a good time with the genius work that Jordan Peele is doing here, especially with the message. But that one flaw for me is enough to bring it all the way down to a B. Thanks for checking out this SiftPop 5 Things review. Trying to do one of these every week. Feel free to subscribe so you can see them happen. SiftPop, you can find at SiftPop.com. Lots of fun stuff going on there. SiftPop podcast you can subscribe to. Just do that on whatever podcast player you use. We have a weekly podcast where we go a little more in depth about the movies that we talk about here. Also, thank you to the members of SiftPop at patreon.com/SiftPop. That support starts at $3 a month, comes with some really fun perks. We do a monthly video hangout. You get your own dedicated podcast feed that has bonus episodes in it. Lots of fun stuff going on there at the membership page at patreon.com/SiftPop. And of course, thank you to those who support. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to check out the written reviews and different fun stuff and articles we've got going on, just go to SiftPop.com, SiftPop.com, and you can check all that out. All right, let's get on to the best ever challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. Let's go in honor of us with best ever one-syllable titled movies. Movies with just one syllable in the title. There's a lot of really good ones, but as far as I'm concerned, there's only one direction I could go with mine. Take a guess based on that clue at mine. First person to get it right does get that SiftPop point. So, make sure and hurry on that. And as always, I'll give you a few extra seconds to hit subscribe. When it pops up, just click the logo.